We are moving again. I've just brought Minnie to see the place. We now live in the Greater Newcastle area, and it's very different from Western Sydney and Melbourne. Minnie's sniffing out the place. Is this our bedroom? We've got an ensuite. We haven't had an ensuite since we lived in an apartment, so that's lovely. Oh, we do have a built-in wardrobe. Nice. It's got drawers and stuff. Let's go have a look, Minnie. She's found a dead cockroach immediately. We can have a little look around. Well, I suppose this is going to be a moving vlog. We have just moved into our new place in the Newcastle area. I'm already loving it here so much. We're so close to the beach. The rooms in this house are really big. There's like all this storage built in, and it's like new, not like rotting out like some of our older wardrobes were. Oh, I was actually wondering where this was. So here's what I would like to get done today. I still have a bunch of things I want to do around the house. There's a shelf that I want to cover with some film cover stuff to make it look nicer for the lounge room. I bought some wheels to put on my old sewing desk, so my sewing machine has somewhere to go when it comes back from getting serviced. I'll tell you about that in a sec. Obviously, like around the house is still generally a bit messy, but I just am trying to tick off certain things so that it's like in a livable state, but I'm not trying to do too much in a day. So I think if I do those two things around the house and then also finish making some headbands for like a work thing, that's 3 cool things to tick off. And then if I get those done, I hopefully can fit in some crochet time as well. I was sewing a bunch of my headbands that have literally been waiting to be made for, I think, over a year. I bought all this fabric at least a year ago with all the intentions of making these headbands, and then they sat there and I didn't sew for a really long time because I was way more into crochet at that point. I still am, but these needed to be done because I have also been waiting to get my sewing machine serviced. And I called them yesterday and they were like, yeah, you can bring it in now, but it will be like a 2 or 3 week wait until you get it back. So I thought, like, I will take it in because it literally had to be done. I can't wind new bobbins at the moment because the thing on top, I'll put a little picture here, but there's this little part on top that went missing, I think, in the last move. And I actually found it on the ground at one point, but I had no idea what I was looking at. And the cats were like bapping it around the house. Anyway, by the time I realized what it was, I didn't know where it was anymore. So that part is necessary to be able to wind bobbins on my machine. So I only could really use the bobbins that I have, which I do have a lot, but I, don't have every color that I'll ever need forever. And Minnie wants to be up on my lap. And also, they run out eventually. So I was kind of just making do until I was just making do until I knew like I really needed to get this machine serviced. So I thought I will just quickly sew all these headbands that I know I wanted to make. That way I can kind of make them and list them, before the holiday period. So I did that. I sewed I'm going to say, I think there's 4 of each color and there's like 5 colors. So maybe 20 headbands. Just did the sewing part and then took in my sewing machine. But now I've got all the other parts of putting together the headbands, which is like trimming, which I think I've just done the last one now, and turning all these pieces inside out. I'll show you what I'm working with. These parts are basically all of the outer layer of the headband, and then I also have these pieces that are like tubes that cover the headband because so it's covered all around. Yeah, so now I need to kind of sit here and just turn all these pieces inside out. So I think I'm just going to put something fun on YouTube and sit here and do that task. It's been rainy and stormy, so it's really nice weather to just kind of do these chill things as well. I'm looking at the footage I just took as well, and it is showing my watch, which is really wrong. It says it's the 30th. It's actually the 5th today. And it's not 4 p.m, it's 11:30 in the morning. Okay, this is where my loop turner comes in handy. I talked about this in one of my short videos, but these are great for turning things the right way around. And usually you use it for like a little tube, like, you know, when you make little cords, like as a tie or as a shoulder strap, things like that, like little spaghetti straps. This is what you'd use to turn them inside out. But I also find it really useful for these, like, I mean, I can kind of do this with my hands. But sometimes if I haven't left this gap big enough to turn it out the right way, it can help to use the loop turner as well. The other tool I keep on hand is a chopstick, and this is a nice metal one so it doesn't catch. Sometimes if the wood ones get splintery, you know, it can catch on the fabric. But I just remembered that I have had these metal chopsticks, which I think I had 4 and 3 of them went missing. So I was like, perfect. I can't use just one chopstick on its own. So this will now be my dedicated turner inside out or a chopstick. Actually, I remember what I use the loop turner for. It's not really for that outer part, it's for these inner parts. So I go in one end, hook the fabric into, like, just kind of pop it through the fabric a little bit, and then carefully pull it out the right way. Ta-da! All right, I'm gonna get through this batch, pop something on YouTube, see if I can get some work done.
It's actually a nice day out, and I don't feel like we have too many of those left in October, so I'm gonna go get some sunshine, but that might be a good case. It's not working out that fast, but it's not working out that slowly. I like forgot that much. I don't think it's that yet, so I could just literally hold everything, and it's so cheap.
Use code Headbands to get $30 off your best-selling clothes.
I'm starting to do these headbands as a bit more of like a limited edition thing. So I only got enough fabric to make 4, I think, of each headband. So if I keep one for myself, that means I've only got 3 for sale, but I'm not sure. I don't know. If I was going to keep one, I reckon this is more my colors. A bit more cool toned, but still bright and rainbowy. I love the look of this, but to be honest, it wouldn't really go with a lot, and it doesn't really go with like my hair color. I don't know, or does it? Should I keep one? I don't know. I also have some plain colors as well, and what did I have? Oh, also this. I love this for me too. I love green, but I thought that these would be really beautiful with like those beige linen sets that some people look amazing in. I don't really feel like they look good on me. I feel like I always make them look like pajamas. I think I'm going to pause working on the headbands because the sun has actually kind of come out. It's been raining on and off. I think I'm going to use this little bit of dry time to go out to the garage and put the new wheels on my sewing desk and bring it inside, because I spent like half an hour yesterday cleaning the thing up and I don't want it to get dusty again while it's sitting out there waiting in the garage. Slight problem. These are what I was replacing. It used to have a wheel on it. This one broke off, and the rest are kind of just dodgy now. Like, you know, caster wheels when they get a bit old. I found these, which are perfect because this was the only size of this bracket that they had, and it's a match. But what I didn't realize is that I thought I could reuse the bolts that were in these ones. I cannot. These are too big for these. So I might have to go back to Bunnings. But the thing is, it's starting to rain again now even. I don't think I'm going to get to putting the film on the bookshelf today, but that's okay. I just have a bunch of other things to do that have to be done by certain times. Like, we're putting a big rubbish collection out tonight, which when I booked it, I didn't realize they'd make it so soon. So I have to like empty some stuff out of the garage, and the movers are also coming to collect all our empty boxes and all the paper that they use to pack everything. tomorrow, which is great because then we'll get some space back in our house, but it means I have to make sure everything's kind of out of the boxes so that we can give them the boxes. Yeah, so I might have to prioritize a little bit better. This is the second project I've started today that I haven't been able to finish. So I think I'm going to spend the rest of the day just kind of unpacking a bit more, and then I'll go back and do the headbands, and then I'll still see if I can do some crocheting later today. Okay, I ended up going to Bunnings because I had to do some other errands anyway. Got the goods. These were only a couple of bucks for each packet, but I did have to get 2 because I needed 8. And unfortunately, they come in a pack of 6. So I'm going to fix this thing up. I need to like tighten a bunch of the screws and stuff in it anyway, and then as well as attach the new feet, which I think I left one inside in my handbag. These are the old wheels. I thought I could clean them up, but then when I had a look at them, they just were kind of like, some of them, I think the one was actually broken. And then these wheels are actually smaller than the ones I could get, and I was limited in my choices. So if I could have just replaced one, I could have done that. But then also, yeah, some of these were like, you know when they are locked, but then they drag, and they had like flat patches on some of them. And I just thought, you know, why not make it nice and slick? Make it nice to come back inside since it's been out here for so long. I actually need to clean under there as well. And I'm a little bit nervous about spiders and stuff because I think I did just find a red back in my tools. Okay. I should have thought of this earlier. It's looking a lot better than it did. I'm kind of wishing I had taken some before photos because it was super grubby, like dusty, covered in cobwebs and stuff. It's still got a couple of little marks on it that I might be able to get off with some gumption, but I mean, I'm not super worried. I just don't want it to bring spiders into the house mainly. I'm going to tighten up all the screws and take it inside. Okay, before, the other thing I wish I had shown you was it had a real wobble to it. just because the screws were loose and obviously because it was missing one of the wheels. But now she's looking pretty good. I'm going to take it inside. Get that web off. Okay, it's inside. This room still needs a lot of cleaning up, so I'll show you what it looks like later, but I'm also not going to be able to show you with the sewing machine for a little bit. But yeah, she's inside. It's Wednesday today, and you can see I brought in the sewing desk. It's sitting over there now, but it's probably not going to get used for a little bit because I have to wait for the sewing machine. And I was thinking about how I might put this video out pretty quickly, but I have a bunch of videos that I filmed and haven't edited yet that will be in the old house. So things might kind of come out in a weird order, but it doesn't really matter. It's not like this is a series where you have to be following along in the timeline. So if you see that I'm not in this house, just know that that video probably came out, was filmed before. These are the ones I've folded so far. Not folded, turned inside out. There's actually 6 different ones, I think. So 4 times 6 is 24. 24 headbands to add to my shop soon. Do you want to go for a walk? You too? It's Thursday today. I am just finishing up the last few of these headbands that I've got to turn inside out. These are the tubes that I've done so far. It looks like those wacky inflatable men. And these are the outside parts. So if that's like the inner part, this is like the outside parts. And I've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 left to go. Oh, there's another tube. But yeah, I think I wanted to do the bookshelf today as well. I just don't know if I'm going to fit it in, and I have to go to Bunnings to get another tool before I do that, because I think I want to try and take off a bit more of the whatever's on the chipboard. It's not really I wouldn't even call it vinyl. It's like paper. It's like tearing off, because the thing's really old. And so I thought if I get a painter's tool, I was watching some YouTube videos yesterday and it looks like the painter's tool might be the best tool for the job, to help me just scrape off some of that top layer, and then a bit more sandpaper to, to sand it down a bit flat. I couldn't find the gap. I thought I had not left myself a gap to turn it inside out. I'll probably maybe start on that today, but I just can tell that I've bitten off a bit more than I can chew as per usual. There's still a lot of things around the house that I kind of wanted to sort out, really mundane tasks. Like I need to put all my beauty products actually in the cupboards in the bathrooms, like they're still in a box. What else have I got to do? I really need to actually tidy up this space because it looks okay here, but there's stuff all over the floor that I really want to tidy up, because I feel like I work so much better when I actually have a tidy space to work in. I did do some crocheting yesterday. I didn't film any of it because it's a new pattern I'm working on, and I'm trying to decide whether to make this a pattern that I sell as a pattern or possibly make it into a YouTube video, possibly both, or something that I will sell in my Etsy as a finished product, or both. But this is the plant hanger, and it's like a check pattern plant hanger. It's not made for this size pot, but just so you get an idea, it needs a bigger pot, otherwise it does this stretchy thing. But if you can imagine it not being pulled so tightly, like that. So this is a prototype. I'm still working on the final pattern, and I think I want to make a smaller size for pots like this as well. So I'm going to work on that. I will have turned all these inside out today, but I probably won't start the part where I actually attach them to headbands until maybe tomorrow, depends. I've been trying to schedule out my time a bit better, but I'm really bad with time management. And now I know that that's most likely because of my ADHD, but I didn't know I had ADHD until a couple of years ago. So I've just gone my whole life saying that I was really bad at time management, and it turns out it's more a case of time blindness, where I don't realize how long a task is taking or will take. Like, I can't plan my day properly because I assume something will take less time than it does. And I always kind of, like, when I'm planning out my day, I always kind of hope things will take less long. Like, I think I gave myself 15 minutes to do this task of just turning them inside out, and it's already taken 45 minutes and I'm not quite done. So that's just one example, but that means it kind of, then cuts into the other things that I had planned for the day, and I don't know how to fix that. I don't know how to fix how I think about that, whether to just plan to do less, but I always just want to plan to do so many things in a day. I get really excited, and then of course the end of the day starts approaching and I start feeling bad that I haven't done enough, and it's my own fault for putting too much pressure on myself. Anyway, in saying that, I'm giving myself permission to not complete the 3 things that I had said I wanted to do in this vlog. Even though when I first started filming this vlog, I probably assumed I would do them all in one day. I think it's been 2 or 3 days since I started filming this vlog, but I will be able to say that I have turned all of these around the right way. Like, I can tick that off. And also I did the sewing desk, so that's ready for when the sewing machine comes back. And I can tell you, I'm actually very proud that I did that, because another thing about me and my ADHD is that when a task doesn't feel important because I'm not going to sort of see the effects of it until like the distant future or the unspecified future, I'll put it off and put it off and put it off. For example, doing projects in high school or doing projects in college, I would do them last minute because the deadline seemed so far away. It was there was no point in doing it early. And also, when it comes to Christmas shopping, I always leave it last minute. There's some people that can buy things through the year, and be start planning early, and start doing their shopping early, or even just writing a list of ideas for people. I've gotten better at that. But because Christmas seems so far away, when I'm making things for people, I'm I don't want to start that until later, because I'm not going to have the motivation to finish it because Christmas is so far away, or their birthday is so far away. And then I always end up finishing things late or giving people gifts after Christmas and stuff. So I'm really proud of myself that I did this desk, because I literally, took the sewing machine in to get its service. So I'm not even going to be able to use that desk until the sewing machine comes back. But I think because I decided that I wanted to do it, and then have it kind of done in this video, I guess that motivated me a bit, which was good. But otherwise I would have been well, the sewing machine's off getting repaired, so I'm not going to need it for at least 2 or 3 weeks, so there's no point. But now when the sewing machine comes back, I won't be rushing to finish this and have somewhere to put it. And I'm really proud of myself that I did that. They say it's something to do with how people with ADHD, don't get a normal hit of dopamine from completing tasks, something like that. And I feel like it's I won't really get the pleasure of having completed this until the sewing machine is actually sitting on it. But at least now it's not I'm going to forget about it and then the sewing machine's going to come back and I'm going to want to use it and, have to move my computer screen out of the way to put it here, which is what I had to do the other day when I sewed all these. I think it's also a reason that I end up being so messy. And again, I've gotten a lot better, but I used to just kind of want to do the fun part of working on the project. I'm sure that's the same for everybody. But then the part of tidying up after a project or putting that project away at the end, I just never had motivation to do that because I wanted to jump onto the next thing. And also I knew that if I would pack things up, like if I put these away now, half finished, which is exactly what I did. I was going to say, if I put them away half finished, I would just forget that they exist because of like my lack of object permanence. Yeah, I would put them away and then, you know, they would sit there for a while until I remembered or until I found them or until I look at one of my old to-do lists and go, oh yeah, I still have to finish those. But that is kind of what happened because these were all cut out and obviously not sewn. Yeah, so that's the other thing. Like I've motivated myself to at least finish this part of the task because I'm doing it for the vlog. And the other thing that does help me complete tasks is chunking down the process like this a bit. I think I got that term from Andy J. Pietz's Creative Pep Talk podcast. Please let me know in the comments if you listen to that because I've been listening to that podcast for years and I feel like it's always been the best podcast for creative people. And, you know, he obviously, like he talks about it all the time, he has ADHD and I think that was what helped me to start suspecting that maybe I have ADHD too because I connected with everything he said so well. Oops. Yeah, so I feel like I related to him so much and that helped me decide to go and get diagnosed, you know, to go and figure it out for myself. So, but yeah, let me know if you listen to him because I'm a long time listener and I just love his podcast. It's always so inspiring. And it's good while you're like doing creative work that's, you know, like the mundane parts of work, like this. I would be listening to a podcast like that or watching something on YouTube usually. I completely forgot why I brought him up. And this is like, how did I not know I had ADHD? This is just how my brain works all the time. He talked about chunking down tasks. This is the last one. And chunking down just means that, oh my God, hang on. I did sew this one the whole way through by accident. It's funny that I left that one till last. I'm supposed to leave myself a little gap here so I can turn it inside out, so I'm just going to have to cut the thread. But yeah, he talks about chunking down, so, you know, breaking a big task down into smaller, achievable tasks. But if I have a big project, which is like, this is kind of a big project, which is making, 24 headbands? And instead of trying to do all of that in one day, which I will sign myself up for and then burn out, is to just kind of chunk it down into batches or processes. So the part of the process I'm doing right now is something I like to do all at once, the turning inside out. The sewing is another chunk and attaching them to the headbands is another chunk. And then I have to take photos of them because these are brand new colours and then put them on my website or not on my website. Am I going to put them on my website? I've only been selling these on Etsy. I haven't actually set up my website shop yet. So maybe that's something I'll do as well. Anyway, this is the last one, unless I find another one hiding somewhere. But I think that's it. So I've got all of these pieces and these ones. And I'm going to leave it there for this one, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for hanging out with me. Bye.